All right, Shalom. All right, start out saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, by Shem Harakakudash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, my elder hero one as well. Salutation to the Akim that puts in the truth, the sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Khalaf Sa'am by Yashar for the Lions of the Yashar camp. And this is another Lions in News and Prophecy. And let me get my stuff together and get right because you already know how we started off. This is Second Ezra 15 and 1. It says, Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. All right. So this particular one is like, the reason why some of these are not like they're events that's happening that are leading up to certain prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Because so so basically, like when I say news and props, a lot of this is just news. Put it that way. All right. So so we all know what the end all tell all is going to be to destroy the system and destroy the whore Babylon, mystery Babylon, which is America, the United States of America. Right. It's all ultimately going to be some ICBM nuclear missiles, 200 million warheads to hit this place and to destroy it so it'll never be inhabited again. So that's the reason why a lot of these articles are important, especially when it's talking about missile and military arsenal development. All right, because it's a big arms race going on throughout these nations, and you know one of the crazy parts about it is you got all this military flexing going on in the middle of a trade war. So now it's like kind of like they're playing big bank take little bank, because if once the trade war goes in effect and you damage the economy, what are you doing? You're damaging the country's ability to spend money on weaponry, right? So if you limit the funds that they are able to spend on weapons, you limit the amount of force that they will be able to have in an all-out physical war, right? So, but now it's just crazy that you've had a trade war going on between the United States and China, and also within that, um, you have them flexing each other's muscles, like showing out over there in the Pacific, right? So they've already sent two two uh two aircraft carrier groups over there, the USS George Washington and another one, setting up for a possible conflict with China. See that? So let me see real quick. All right. So now, what are they gearing up for? Matter of fact, let me find something real quick. All right. So now let's look into the USS George Washington because we're gonna take a note on all the things that like how America it looks like America's setting up for a war with China, man. It says the USS George Washington CVN-73 is currently deployed to the Pacific as the United States sole forward deployed aircraft carrier stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. This marks the second time the character has served in this role, having previously been forward deployed from 2008 to 2015. All right. So now it's deployed over there in the Pacific, right? It was stationed up at Yokosuka, like I said in the um um Japan in my other lesson, But there's another aircraft carrier in the Pacific also, the George Washington. Hold on, let me find the other one. All right, so you have the USS Nimitz, the CVN 67 in the Philippine Sea. Then you have the USS George Washington over there in the Pacific. And the all right, so now and off the coast of California, you got you got the well no, you have the USS Theodore that's in Yokosuka, stationed in Yokosuka, Japan right now. The USS Abraham Lincoln operating in San Diego, California, which is, the Pacific. The USS Ronald Reagan is also part of the Pacific Fleet and is currently homebound in Brimporn, Washington. All right. So you have the Nimitz and the George Washington that are over there in the Pacific patrolling, and they don't travel by themselves. All right, they have a battle fleet with them to protect them, submarines and all. All right, they have air, underwater, and regular on water maritime vessels that are protecting the aircraft carriers because the aircraft carriers are so. So now, with all them being stationed over there like that, what is the United States setting up for? It basically, because like the last video, not the last video, the one before last, um, it looks like the United States is setting up for a possible conflict with China. You know, so right now, so what they've been doing, they've been flexing their muscles over there. And so in another article I got to do a lesson on, it it um it talks about how over there in the Pacific, there's an old World War II like airport or air base that China is going to start developing on, which will put them right at the back door of the United States allies, right? So you see how they're strategically setting up spots or bases and reactivating, what I'm saying, older fleets and stuff like that. Because the USS George Washington been out of commission since 2018. I want to say, or 2015, but they put it like under like repairs and stuff like that for a little while. So now they have it patrolling over there in the Pacific, close to Japan and China. You know. So let's read this article real quick. It says photos show new U.S. missiles sent to China's doorstep. See, it's a tit for tat thing that's going on. You know, but who's mustering up the host? This is being the stage. It's like when you're watching a movie, you watch things that transpire within the plot that lead to the climax and the conclusion, and that's where we're entering to the climax, which is going to lead to the conclusion, meaning the end of this system set up by Esau. So we look forward to these things. Like these are the things that lead up to these prophecies that we've been, teaching about for over the years. All right. It says the United States has once again deployed its NMESIS ship-sinking missile system on a Philippine island group for the military drills amid the presence of the Chinese Navy in nearby waters. See that? Chinese Navy in nearby waters because they've been Flex. China's been flexing their muscles over there too. All right. It says it says NMESIS stands for Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, a U.S. Marine Corps ground-based launcher amid with two naval strike missiles capable of striking sea targets 115 miles away. It is designed for maritime warfare operations in the Pacific. See that? So it's designed for war in the waters. Okay. It says during exercise Balikatan 2025, held from April 21st to May 9th in the Philippines, the United States Marine Corps simulated anti-ship operation using NMESIS on Bataan Island in the uh, Luzon Strait, a key getaway for China's naval deployments beyond its surrounding waters. Oh, a key gateway. All right, so they're trying to basically block, do exercises to prevent them from using that as a gateway. See that? To get to strike the United States allies. So the United States has to do things like this just to show forth to make the allies feel comfortable and let them know that at any given cost, at any given situation, the United States is going to back them. So for them not to move in fear. It says the Philippines plays a significant role in America's Indo-Pacific strategy. It is one of the three U.S. allies alongside alongside Japan and Taiwan that form a containment strategy known as the First Island Chain, aimed at restricting China's naval access to the broader Western Pacific Ocean. See, they kind of contain them, just like how NATO, from a grounds perspective, NATO is trying to contain Russia. That's the whole point of the thing of the war between Russia and Ukraine. So they're trying to, Russia's trying to annex Ukraine like it did Crimea in 2016. Um, really getting these older Soviet Union countries back, you know, so they won't be surrounded by NATO, you know, like they don't even have any breathing. Like if they were to totally get NATO, Ukraine a part of NATO, Russia wouldn't have no breathing room at all. It'd be over. That's why Vladimir Putin had to set up his troops the way he did and start the war. It's all about protecting the Commonwealth of Russia. All right. It says what to know. It says in a video released by the United States Marine Corps, a NMESIS launcher was shown being airlifted by a KC-130J transport aircraft to the Bantanese Island chain located north of the main Philippine island, Luzon, on Sunday for the Maritime Key Terrain Security Operation. The operation aimed at rehearsing the defense of key maritime terrain is part of exercise Commandant 9, a war game involving the United States, the Philippines, Japan, South Korea, and the United Kingdom, scheduled from Monday to June 6th and taking place across the Philippines. Right? It's a show of force, and it's really a provocation of war against Russia. Against China. See that? And flexing his muscle, trying to put fear in the minds of the People's Republic Army. It says, unlike exercise Balikatan 2025, where no live missiles were launched by NMESIS, the weapon will be employed in a live fire drill during exercise Kawandog 9. If the weather permits, Philippine media outlet ABC-CBN reported citing the country's Marine Corps. Uh, Kamandag, an acronym for the Filipino phrase Ka- Kagagpe, NGMGA, whatever that is, which translates to Corporation of Warriors of the Sea, is an annual bilateral drill led by the United States and Philippine Marine Corps since 2016 to strengthen allies' capabilities. See that? To strengthen and to make them feel like they're more, protected. It said this year's exercise underscored what the United States Marine Corps called the global importance of maritime security, as well as the value of building multinational maritime domain awareness and a shared commitment to peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. But they're the only one that's adding instability. Because look at what they did over there. You got North and South Korea divided. You got China and Taiwan divided. You got Japan divided from everybody. You know what I'm saying? They're like the disgrace of the Asians, mainly because of their alliance with the United States. So, so if you want to keep peace over there, if America would have never got involved over there, then there would be peace over there. Esau's whole plan has always been to divide and conquer. As long as those people are fighting against each other, they're going to the devil to seek help. The ones that fall up under the devil's wing. But, this is all being put together by Yahweh by Shem Shai. All right? All right, let's it says skip down a little bit. It said what happens next? It said it was unclear whether the NMESIS will remain in the Philippines after the conclusion of the exercise. A U.S. Army mid-range capability missile system, which is initially deployed for exercise, has been stationed in the Southeast Asian country since April of last year. All right, so now they have it stationed there. Um, now they have it stationed over there. Now they're going to do it. Why would it? I don't see them sending it back to the United States. They're going to leave it over there in the Pacific, especially if they're doing real-time live fire drills with it. Right? They're going to do actual missile testing on it. So, so what are they? They're preparing for. They're staging a war, and who's staging it? Yahweh Shemal Shai, man. All right. This is Psalm 7-12. It says, "If he turn not." All right, slacker. This is Psalm 7-11. It says, Yahweh judges the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. Right, so he's going to manipulate the minds of the wicked and staging them for war to battle each other, for them to destroy each other and show up in the midst of that. And, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately just crush the system that's set up so it'll never be erected again. So he's angry with the wicked every single day. Like his nostrils is flaring, smoke's blowing out of his nose every single day. His righteous anger increases, so it's going to get to a certain limit. Then he's going to send your house shot down here to wreck shop. All right. It says, verse 12 says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. He has bent his bow and made it ready. All right. So he's making these, he's setting everything up for these missiles to be flying off everywhere. He's going to denuclearize the whole earth, man. And majority of the missiles going to hit American soil, U.S. soil. Verse 13, it says, he has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He has ordained his arrows against the persecutors. All right. So that's the judgment that Yahweh Shemel Shai has set up for this place. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity and hath conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. Talking about Esau. He made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. Right. So everything that that this whole thing that how he's trying to set up and get total control and world dominance over everything, how Esau's trying to do that and totally commit genocide on the children of Israel, all that's going to be turned around right back around on him. All right. He made a pit and digged it and has fallen into the ditch which he made. Verse 16, it says, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. All right, so they're strategically setting up war around China, right, to go for a possible conflict with China. And I remember about a year or so ago, how Xi Jinping made a comment about the irony of the United States introducing the world to nuclear war. So ultimately, that's what the Lord is setting up to take this place out. See that? So he's making he digged the pit, right? So he thought that he was burying everybody by being the first one to come up with that type of weaponry. But ultimately, that's what it's going to be used to destroy this place. All right. Verse 16 again, it says, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. All right. And it says, I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness and will sing praise to the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, Most High. See that? So that we're going to sing praises to Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai on a regular. You know, understanding why these things are being set up the way they are being set up, because why? It's because the Lord's doing it, all right? This is, where am I getting this? This is, all right. This is, Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Right. I mean, you had stages of war. First, you had like sticks and stones, and then had swords and arrows, and then you had guns and bombs. But you know, nothing to this magnitude of what you're going to about to see. What Yahweh Shemel Shai is setting up. It says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. Lord's setting fire to this place, sending fire out, the weapons of his indignation, man. All right. But within that, we have deliverance from the judgment that's supposed to come to this place. And our deliverance is through our Savior, Yahweh Shai. Verse 6, it says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall rest upon his shoulder. Right. And the government is the elect, the 144,000 is going to be the governing body, the tabernacle of David. Right, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Right. So, you know, him being the Everlasting Father, not saying he's Yahweh, but saying he's an authority, because all authority was given unto him by Yahweh. See that? So him being a ruler over this realm, when he comes, well, he's already sitting on the right hand side of Yahweh right now. You know. And he's coming to declare all righteousness on earth, which is a beautiful thing, man. So we love to see these things transpiring on the earth because we know that our salvation is nearer than what we once believed. All right, Lord willing, this lesson will edify and serve this purpose for the hope of elect the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. With that, I'd like to say, Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Harikak Wadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder Heroin as well. Salutations to the Archon and the pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom.